NBC Sports presents the National Football League. Today, it's the Houston Oilers versus the Cleveland Browns.
A glorious Indian summer Sunday in Cleveland, Ohio. Temperature in the 70s, no wind, a sellout crowd, 78,000. In the most contentious of divisions in the NFL, the AFC Central, Cleveland, Houston, Cincinnati, all tied for first place. Halloween week across the United States as we welcome you aboard. Dick Enberg with Bill Walsh, and who knows better, the tricks or treats of life than the NFL head coach.
The head coach. A year ago, we were the glorious Super Bowl champions, but about halfway through, we were 6-5. It was a roller coaster experience, and that's what these coaches are in for, Halloween or not.
It was a treat at the end of the Super Bowl, but the tricks in the middle of the year, everyone forgets about that. Well, in the spirit of Halloween, then, and I know you have your costume in your bag, you're ready to go. What will Jerry Glanville wear this week?
I think Jerry's James Dean of the 90s. He's a rebel with a cause. He's a guy that wants to attract attention to it. He wants a rebel team. He wants a team that's totally different. He's James Dean.
All right, then a tougher one, Bud Carson.
Well, Bud's a vice president for many, many years, like George Bush. He suffered through the trials of it, the preparation. Now he has the job. Now he realizes all of those forces that work on the head coach. He's dealing with them well. He's well trained. I think he'll be okay.
All right, it'll be George Bush knocking on the door for the candy this week. All right, what's the key to today's game?
Well, excellent weather conditions. A passing game for both teams is excellent. Outstanding quarterbacks. Houston has an advantage with its running game. Cleveland is yet to really get its offense underway. That's going to have to happen today. But on the other hand, Cleveland's at home. They're inspired. And the Rebels from Houston are going to have to play their best game to take it home.
Well, in Cleveland, the most popular costume on Halloween night, Tuesday evening, will be obviously something that has to do with a hound or a dog, and the dog pound is braced and ready to cheer their beloved Browns, who are fresh from a most important and impressive win on Monday night here against the Chicago Bears. There's the open end of the stadium, the center field section of the baseball layout, the dog pound. Hanford Dixon, the talented cornerback of the Browns, the man who started that whole theme. And it's amazing how grown-ups and people who actually pass a lot of IQ examinations will come out and cheer the Browns in costume. Every Sunday's Halloween Sunday in Cleveland. The Oilers receive. Wagner's kick comes down to Tracy Johnson, and the rookie fullback barrels across the 30 to the 32-yard line. Warren Moon, and what a talent he is. He's had a couple of big games back-to-back, and there's his offensive line. 3 number 1 picks in there. Davis, Munchak, Pennison, Matthews, and Steinkuhler. Moon has with him Alonzo Highsmith and Mike Rozier in the backfield. Drew Hill and Ernest Gibbons, a talented pair, are outside. Rookie Bob Morosco grew up in the Cleveland area, the tight end. When they go to their 4 wideouts, Curtis Duncan and Haywood Jeffries come in. And that 4 wide receiver set of Houston's may be as good as any in the league. From the 32, it's Rozier. Out to the 35 to 36 before Mike Johnson, number 59, can make the tackle. The defense for the Browns: Bubba Baker, Carl Hairston, 2 graybeards in there with the brilliant young Michael Dean Perry and Robert Banks, a former Oiler. Clay Matthews, Mike Johnson, David Grayson, a terrific core of linebackers. Minifield and Dixon are Pro Bowlers at the corners. Felix Wright and Thane Gash at safety. In their dime defense, Harper and Blaylock, defensive backs, come in to support that back 4. 2nd down 6. Delay, and it's Highsmith getting very little. Well, he breaks out of the grasp of a couple of Browns and able to struggle forward. Gets 4 yards when it appeared he had only 1. Thane Gash finally secured the tackle along with Felix Wright.
A week ago, Houston kept the ball for 12 minutes. That's the longest drive I've ever heard of. They're going to want to do that today. Warren Moon, in discussing this game with us, indicated they want to run the ball. They want to dominate with a run. Jerry Granville indicated they want to dominate all of those Cleveland players, 11 on 11.
And do it physically. That's his style. 3rd and 2. And right into the middle of the pile goes Rozier. I'm not sure he made it. Anderson and Michael Dean Perry, and plenty of white shirts on the ball carrier.
Well, Rozier is a great short yardage runner, a great inside runner with power and strength. He's going to get the ball every time they're in that formation on short yardage. And they missed him earlier in the year when he was injured and holding out. Finally, he's ready to play football.
Got a good spot, did Rozier, the former Heisman Award winner. I like the expression that Glanville uses when he describes Rozier. He runs heavy.
Runs heavy.
Tough to bring down, and he got the necessary yardage when it appeared they had stopped him, and that's typical of what Glanville said about him. When he looks to get 1, he gets 2. You think he's getting 3, gets 5, and that's what happened there. He got 2 when it appeared he had only 1. Here comes Highsmith, a second-year man from Miami. He gets out to about the 45-yard line.
Highsmith too, Dick. Here's a big, powerful guy, 235 pounds, strong runner. Both these people are excellent inside runners. The big problem, inside you've got 2 outstanding players in Perry and Hairston, both tough inside tackles. So
Michael Dean Perry, number 92. Keep your eye on him, the younger brother of the refrigerator, and many feel at this point he's playing much better football than his more renowned brother up in Chicago. From the 45-yard line, Houston with the opening kickoff, a swing to Rozier. And Clay Matthews, a Pro Bowl linebacker, hits him at the 48 of Cleveland. That'll be close to another first down.
Whenever you get Rozier outside like that, even a Clay Matthews is going to have trouble bringing him down for less than a 3 or 4 yard gain.
Matthews and Bruce Matthews, his younger brother, in the offensive line. And for the first time ever, they played on the same team last January when they both made the Pro Bowl and played on the American Conference side. Both went to Southern California.
Great athletes, truly great athletes. Outstanding students in both those cases. You talk about hereditary genes. Their dad was a great player, built the same size, same kind of an intelligence. How did you and I do, Dick?
Well, I should have been an apple picker. Just short of a first down. It's 3rd and inches. Clay Matthews Sr. was an outstanding linebacker in the 50s with the San Francisco 49ers. They're very competitive, the 2 Matthew boys. They both live in the same area in Southern California, a quarter mile apart. Moon takes it on the sneak, and he didn't get much, but didn't need much. He got a yard, and that'll be a first down. Mike Johnson made the tackle for Cleveland.
Moon tried that sneak a week ago. Felt he was over the goal line against Pittsburgh, then shoved back. So in short yardage, the quarterback sneaks an excellent play. The officials can see it. But once you get on that goal line and try it, you can make the touchdown, be shoved back before the officials get there.
And the crowd of players, tacklers in on you, it's tough for the linesmen to see the ball down on that goal line, and often scores on replays aren't so judged with the naked eye. So Moon has the Oilers on the opening drive with a first down at the Cleveland 47. And off to Highsmith. And Alonso is to about the 42-yard line. His alma mater, the Miami Hurricanes, upset by Florida State last night. Highsmith saying he just hopes he gets a chance to catch the ball more often. He's run it well and is just 5 yards behind Alan Pinkett for the Houston lead in rushing coming into this game.
Well, Highsmith comes in with great hands. A week ago, he was 3 times he was hit against Pittsburgh, and the ball was knocked loose. So you don't think Cleveland realizes that. When they get their chances at him, they're going to try to take that ball out of there.
2nd and a short 5. Rozier. And he's tripped up by David Grayson. Grayson from Fresno State. He played his freshman year at Cal Poly Pomona for Roman Gabriel, the former Los Angeles Rams quarterback, was the coach then. Cal Poly Pomona gave up football after his freshman year. He then went to Fresno State.
You're going to see Grayson come right up underneath. The block can't be made. He'll make the stop behind the line of scrimmage. Dave, we drafted with the 49ers. That was one of our mistakes, was to ever let this guy go, because he has great potential. He's got all of those abilities it takes, including pass coverage.
He can really run at 235 pounds, runs like a deer. 3rd down and 4. Moon. to Givens, and a first down at the 29-yard line. The tackle made by Tony Blaylock. So Moon with that effortless arm style guns a bullet to Ernest Givens, and it's good for 13 yards.
So far, Cleveland's played well. They're right on the money. Everything that's occurred, they've been where they should be. Houston's just executing so well. All of these are such close plays. Right now, Houston gets an edge on each one of them. They've already had the ball for 5 minutes. This is just what happened a week ago.
And just exactly what Dr. Glanville had ordered. Bud Carson and Glanville go back to their college days as coaches and our friends. And it's a little too quick. Carl Big Daddy Hairston, the veteran, pulled offside.
Warren Moon indicated they're going to go to the play pass after 6 to 8 runs. So at a point soon here in this so-called red zone, he's going to go for it down the middle.
And Houston, through the years of Warren Moon at quarterback, especially effective once inside the 50, that 30 to 50-yard range in the opponent's territory. And we saw that against the Chicago Bears when they rallied to beat the Bears 2 weeks ago. At that time, Glanville was talking about, I don't know if I'm going to make it through the year. They're really after me. And what a difference 2 weeks has made for both teams.
What a struggle they were both in. Now both teams are playing almost championship form.
First down and 5. And Highsmith picking his way and gets maybe one. Smothered. Charge led by Michael Dean Perry and Mike Johnson.
Mike Johnson, one of the really strong middle linebackers in the game. He can do just about everything. Cleveland just has to have patience now. Don't do anything. At some point, Houston's going to make a mistake.
Michael Johnson, an academic All-America, an architectural engineering major at VPI. Very bright. He was talking about the various tips he looks for. Linemen who are sitting heavy, as he says. They're sitting light. If you're sitting light, that might be tipping a run. Looking at running backs in the backfield. Are there veins showing in their arms? That means they're really tense. They're going to get the ball. He really is an acute mind. Moon to throw, and has the first down yardage to Curtis Duncan. As they went to the 4 wide receivers that time, and Duncan, who played at Northwestern, has the first down grab. Frank Minifield on the coverage.
Good coverage, great throw. Right now, Warren Moon could be the best quarterback in football. Naturally, I like Montana, but Moon has just about everything. As you sit and visit with him, his command of the game of football is comparable to any coach that I've met. I've never sat with a quarterback before or a player before that's known as much football and has such a grasp for it.
Warren Moon, now 32 years of age, out of the University of Washington. Of course, 5 great years in the Canadian League. Has another first down. They played nearly half of the opening quarter. Houston having the ball the whole time, and Highsmith gets 1 or 2. Good invasion, good penetration by Michael Dean Perry that altered Highsmith's route.
That time, Moon was under the center in the normal fashion. When they have 4 receivers or 3 in the game and he's under that center, it's going to be 75 to 80% run. Once he moves back in the shotgun, then the percentages change. It's virtually all pass. So when you see him up under there with those receivers, I'm sure Cleveland's aware of it. He's looking to run the ball.
Now they bring in Alan Pinkett for the first time, the little runner from Notre Dame. They like to use the screen pass or the draw with Pinkett in there out of the shotgun. Second down and 8. 3 seconds on the shot clock. They just got it off. It is the draw to Pinkett. He gets outside and then runs into 4, 5, 6, 7 Browns are in on the tackle. In fact, there are 10 men around the ball. Talk about a swarming defense.
That was great positioning to make that tackle. Both Cleveland Browns, coming from inside and outside, made the shot just perfect on him. Both people right in position to make it. Blaylock's in on it, just coming right up inside, keeping their heads up when they make this tackle, and don't let him twist off the tackle. Heads up right there. Great job.
And Michael Dean Perry in there again as he traversed to the sidelines. So it's 3rd down and 5. A long 5. Touchdown, Moon-to-Jeffries. Made it look easy as he beat Hanford-Dixon.
A design play, Dick. The ball was purposely thrown behind Jeffries. You could see it coming all the way. He's straight up the field, and the ball is thrown short, and only Jeffries knows it. As he releases off the line, you see him looking back. Now watch him be ready to pull up. There it is. Now, we would call that a fly-stop pattern. There's a certain science to it. With his height, the defensive back has to run with him. He knows the ball is going to be thrown short. Beautifully executed.
A fly stop. That's interesting. I'm surprised more teams haven't used that. You get a big receiver against the shorter back. You get him running, you stop, and there he can't possibly pull up in time. Zendejas adds the extra point, and what an impressive start for Houston as they use 8:48 to take the early lead.
For a nice cold bud?
And where does she come from?
Now Chevrolet offers cash back on even more new Chevy trucks. Up to $1,250 cash back or 6.9% financing on most new Chevy trucks. Pickups, vans, Suburbans, Chevy Blazers. Now Chevrolet offers cash back on even more new Chevy trucks, which means now is the best time to see your Chevy dealer. Nobody's winning like the heartbeat of America.
Today's truck is Chevrolet.
A6, hurry and you'll make it.
Delta Airlines ticket agent Sam Singletary knows how to get people moving.
Mr. Franklin.
In 40 seconds, and the Oilers drive 68 yards in 14 plays. The capper Moon-to-Jeffries.
Beautifully. Watch Moon now as he throws the ball. He'll throw it before Jeffries has turned. Jeffries will release straight up the field, bursting hard. Now watch, the ball is thrown by Moon. Here's Jeffries stopping, and the ball gets there as he turns back. Beautifully executed play. Now that's the science that a Warren Moon can do. He has great receivers, but he's got a beautifully accurate arm.
And Jeffries, who is really developing now after being a top pick, a #1 choice out of North Carolina State a year ago, made that sensational catch against the Bears that helped Houston to rally to win 2 weeks ago at Soldier Field. Zendejas with a very short run-up, just a two-step run-up, hits very high and very short. Eddie Johnson, the linebacker at the 20, and Johnson, thinking of his old high school days as a runner, gets it out to the 27-yard line. Let's look at the scores as Bernie Kosar comes onto the field. Rams in Chicago, no score. Field goal leads for Miami and New England early. Tampa Bay, a touchdown pass by Testaverde against Cincinnati. Phoenix. There are the rest of the scores. Bernie Kosar brings his team to the line of scrimmage. Had a big night against the Bears after he was in a midseason slump when in 4 games Cleveland averaged only 12 points a game. That's Metcalf, the rookie, in motion. Flag down, and apparently a penalty before the play as they whistle it dead. Referee's Bob McElwee.
Ball start, 74.
Here's the Cleveland offensive line. Farron, Banker, Rakosi, Fike, and Rison, the Pro Bowler. Bernie Kosar has Tim Manoa and Eric Metcalf. Webster Slaughter, Reggie Langhorne, lots of speed outside, and the veteran Ozzie Newsome looking to add to his record. They go to the 3 wide receiver set. Brian Brennan, a possession receiver, comes in.
Jerry Glanville says this is the fastest team they'll play. I'm sure he was thinking of Metcalf and the wide receivers.
And here is Metcalf caught in the backfield as big Doug Smith, the nose tackle, 286 pounds, knifes through. Here are the men in blue defensively. Ray Childress, Doug Smith, and Richard Byrd. Robert Lyles, Grimsley, Smith, and Meads are the linebackers. Smith and Meads go out when they bring in their dime defense, and Kenny Johnson and Chris Dishman join the back 4. Patrick Allen, Steve Brown, Bubba McDowell, a fine-looking rookie from Miami of Florida, and Jeff Donaldson. He's a hitter and has had some of his biggest games for Glanville here in Cleveland.
Glanville says Donaldson's hated by Cleveland because of the great hits he's made. He says they would love to have him play for them. He's their kind of player.
Second down, 16. Oops. Childress charged off side. Free play. Nope. Barely contact before the snap. Just to add to Donaldson, Glanville was telling us that there's a high school in the Cleveland area that awards their tough guy, their real physical player award each year, and they give him a Jeff Donaldson jersey. They actually call Glanville, and he sends up one of Donaldson's number 31 jerseys to award to this high school player in the Cleveland area.
Houston, Cleveland, such a different geographical situation. Here we have the impression that Houston's made, even in the Cleveland area. So this rebel kind of approach to thing is catching for everybody. The key for Houston, though, will be to have consistency. So often they celebrate too much after they win.
Second down, 11 on the 5-yard penalty against the Oilers. Kozar out of the backfield of Manoa, right through his hands. The fullback from Penn State.
Kozar's pass incomplete, intended for Manoa.
Take a look at Cleveland and Kozar's passing statistics. He was 5th in '87, or the Browns were. Dropped to 9th last year and currently are 16th. In fact, there's been a lot of criticism. Mark Trestman is now the offensive coordinator for Bud Carson. But Carson, when he took the job here, that was part of the deal. Trestman had already been named in that capacity by owner Art Modell.
Well, the feeling was that Trestman knew Kozar well. He knew that style of attack, and I think there's a lot of truth to it. Mark Trestman is a very, very bright young coach, but I must say he's a young coach. He doesn't have some of the experiences in the background that might be necessary.
3rd and 11 for Kozar. Steps away from pressure, throws to Slaughter. Fine defensive play by Chris Dishman to bring him down. Slaughter made a tough catch, but not enough for the first down. It's going to be short by a yard.
Kozar super poised that time. He jumped way up inside the pass rush, spotted his man, and then drilled it. Both teams have great, I believe, great synchronization between receiver and quarterback. They believe in each other. Both clubs. We're going to see this all day.
On 4th down, Kenny Johnson drops back to return for Houston. In to kick Brian Wagner. Did his punting for the Matadors of Cal State Northridge. Averaging just under 40 yards a kick is Wagner. And hits a high wobbly boot. Fair catch Johnson at the 25 of Houston. So the Oilers, with an early touchdown lead, have the ball again with 3:57 remaining in the opening period.
We asked Mike Schmidt to help us show you why the new half-ton Chevy work truck is better than Ford. With more two-sided galvanized steel, more standard power, and a new Dura-Grill that's tougher than Ford.
The lawyers told me I couldn't hit a Ford like this. Know why? You know why. Nobody's winning like the heartbeat of America.
Today's truck is Chevrolet.
So we really doing this?
We're gonna have a long time together.
Oh, I'm late. I gotta go.
Talk to you later. Over dinner.
When?
8.
8? Be there.
Bye.
This is why Allstate gives a 10% discount for cars with anti-lock brakes. We're the only major insurance company that does. Call Allstate.
In today's higher revving and hotter running engines, wear is a greater problem than ever before. Oil breakdown can shorten the life of vital engine parts. That's why there's Castrol. Castrol provides maximum protection against viscosity and thermal breakdown. So use Castrol, because driving today can be a grind. Castrol, engineered for today's smaller cars.
NBC Sports coverage of the National Football League is brought to you by today's truck, Chevrolet. Nobody's winning like the heartbeat of America. By Coors Light, pure brewed in the Rockies, the silver bullet won't slow you down. It's the right beer now. And by Braun Electric Shavers. It is through superior design that superior performance can be achieved.
Cleveland Stadium, bathed in sunshine, 70 degrees. What a week it's been in the Midwest and East. And a classic day today. Mike Rozier looking for a hole. There is none.
Cleveland's going to have to force a punt in this series the last time they gave up the ball for the good part of a quarter. If it happens again, they're not going to have a chance to even demonstrate their offensive abilities. So they have to force a punt, hopefully, and get some kind of field position. The key will be the next 2 or 3 downs for Cleveland, where this entire first quarter, maybe even the first half, will be behind them.
Leon Bud Carson, when he was the head coach at Georgia Tech, he hired a young defensive assistant out of Western Kentucky, who is also the bowling coach for the women at Western Kentucky, Jerry Glanville.
So Jerry got all the attention, more than anyone on the staff, but also he was his best coach. There it is.
Rozier can't handle the pass. It was a good penetration, so Moon had to lob the ball a little higher than he wanted to.
Well, this time they were all over that wide flare that they've developed, throwing to their fullback or halfback outside. That time Grayson was all over it. He jumped it quick. Next time around, Warren Moon's going to look inside to his flanker and try to hit the hooking pattern.
3rd down 7 for Moon, who that was the first pass for Warren that hit the ground. 4 wide receivers. Jeffries far left. Watch Ernest Gibbons in the slot to the right. He comes in motion. Underneath it goes to Drew Hill. And Hill, one of those little wide receivers, comes scooting up the sidelines. We didn't see a flag, but judging from the crowd reaction, one might have been thrown right in front of the Cleveland bench.
Well, Cleveland...
Maybe it was the mark as Hill goes skittering forward.
Well, Hill's speed did it for him there. He's one of the most beautifully conditioned athletes in football. And he just took a delayed pattern out of the backfield. And but as he went in there, he wasn't touched, so that dive got him the yardage he needed. But he trains.
Oh, they're going to respot the ball. They had spotted it out across the 36, and now they move it back to the 35, which seemed to be the correct spot as Hill's knee did hit down. And that'll be short of the first down. So that change in spot is the difference between a first down and 4th and 1. So Glanville says, kick it away.
Well, this is a good omen for Cleveland. That time, Hill almost made it purely on speed because he was well covered.
Greg Montgomery leads the NFL with that 44.8 average. Kicked at Michigan State. His brother is the captain of the Michigan State team, a fullback. He's here with friends, brother Steve from East Lansing. The Ice Cube, McNeil back at the 20. A beautiful driving spiral.
Great kick.
McNeil lets it bounce, and it takes an Oiler bounce, and they'll down it around the 7-yard line. Chris Dishman down to grab the bounce, and Cleveland will start deep in its own end. 2.5 minutes remaining in the opening quarter.
Looking for something phantom? Or should I say, Susie?
Why? Well, because Coors Light won't slow you down.
Cuffer. Well, now everyone can enjoy Coors Light this Halloween.
Can I buy you one?
Not now, thanks. I'm driving.
You can still enter the Coors Light $100,000 Phantom of the Fridge sweepstakes.
It's Susie.
Visit the Coors Light Halloween display for clues.
Forget the clues. It's Susie.
There was a time when Toyota was the last word in sporty import 4x4s. But today, the 90s begin with a new kind of truck, Geo Tracker. Sometimes it's a convertible. Sometimes it's a rugged 4x4. But it's always an adventure. Get to know Geo Tracker only at your Chevrolet Geo dealers.
Getting to know you.
But be prepared to attract a little attention.
Getting to know you.
If you choose to finance or lease your new GM vehicle someplace other than GMAC, you might find yourself waiting in line instead of out hugging one. GMAC. Nobody wants to get you into your new GM car or truck faster.
Long after the game is over, NBC Sports is still on the line. Dial 1-900-226-8000 for NBC's Scores Plus. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Scores Plus. Scores plus a whole lot more.
And on that theme, let's check the early games today as we reach the halfway mark of the regular season. Buffalo has scored on a Kinnebrew run. Indianapolis, Andre Rison from Trudeau. Pittsburgh, Bubby Brister is in there, and he's thrown a touchdown pass. Phoenix trying to make Dallas 0-8. Detroit has the lead at Green Bay. And New Orleans scores first against Atlanta. Here, Jerry Glanville, the Houston head coach, has seen a very impressive opening drive, but denied on his second possession. A good kick of 57 yards by Greg Montgomery, and it's Cleveland's ball at the 8.
You know, Dick, this is our 8th game. That's the best punt I've seen thus far. That punt by Montgomery. Beautiful punt.
Ozar with Metcalf and Manoa behind him. Manoa, the fullback, gets about 3 yards. John Grimsley, the linebacker from Kentucky, first there, number 59. Ray Childress from Texas A&M.
What a great player he's become. He's reading the block across the nose and coming all the way back for it. Right with Grimsley. Grimsley, by the way, is the man that calls those defensive signals. But Childress, they moved all over the field at any position. And usually he'll stunt if he moves around, but he's really become a force in this defense.
Childress and Grimsley, who collaborated on that tackle, both made the Pro Bowl last year. 2nd and 7. To the sidelines, and Johnny Meads had his hands on it. Johnny Sand Meads. His dad was a big baseball fan, a Braves baseball fan back when they were in Boston, and he named him after Johnny Sane, but there was a mix-up at the time of birth, and it came out Johnny Sand Meads, and he almost had that strike and was going to take it into the end zone.
So far, Cleveland's tried to sort of finesse their way through this. They're going to have to get the ball downfield. I don't know if they can win this without some big strikes well down the field. Of course, they've got the speed to do it. They've got the quarterback, and normally their protection's okay. But they're going to have to get the ball downfield. If they don't get out of this hole, Houston's going to be right back down in the end zone.
4 wide receivers. Brian Brennan in motion. Houston appeared to be offside. Kozar over the middle, complete. Reggie Langhorne, first down if. Flags are down.
Well, we certainly saw a Houston man offside.
Defensive left end, penalty decline.
They'll decline it. It was against Houston, and Kozar has his initial first down.
Took a pinpoint pass to do it. We're going to, what looks like offsides right here, but we're going to get crossing receivers to the inside, and what Kozar can do so well is get the ball on a line quickly to people. Look at this. Now that ball's thrown between people sharply, and the receiver has to believe in him.
That awkward stance under center. Kozar with that right leg back. Brings Metcalf in motion. Gives to Metcalf on a sweep. But Houston was ready for that one. And snuff it out at the 23-yard line. Robert Lyles and Doug Smith.
That Grimsley can move, though, Dick. Did you see him pursue down that line of scrimmage? Between Smith and Grimsley, they're really active down the line of scrimmage. Now, this is designed with Metcalf in motion. There's the other Smith behind the line, but look at this movement to the outside, cutting him off. Beautiful job. What they have to do with Metcalf is to get him outside in space, and this worries everybody on that Houston team. They're all looking for it. Grayson said this, all he has to think about in these kind of situations is Metcalf outside.
As we come to the close of the first quarter, 2nd and 10. Kozar slips as he threw, but still gets it on the money to Reggie Langhorne at the 29-yard line, maybe the 30. It'll be short of the first down. Steve Brown, cornerback, made the tackle. And that'll be the end of the opening period. A fast-paced quarter, and the Houston Oilers have the touchdown on the opening drive of the game. A Warren Moon to Moon-to-Jeffries pass of 13 yards.
You think you're better than me, don't you? Oh, not again. I was better than you in high school. I was better than you in college. And I am better than you now.
There are still some people in this world who can change tax brackets without changing personalities.
You want to put that to a test? Let's go. Now? Now.
For those people, there's a car called the Legend Coupe from Acura. #1 in customer satisfaction 3 years in a row.
Heineken.
Amstel Light.
This
so
is
much
it.
better than other
it's a
light
great
beers.
imported beer.
A delicious European
nothing compares
taste,
to the
a
smoothness,
refreshing,
the richness, or the character
distinctive
of a
flavor
Heineken.
that cuts through
its
your
quality
thirst.
comes through.
There's a uniqueness to it.
Heineken is America's #1 selling imported beer. Amstel Light is America's #1 selling imported light beer. Why? Just ask the people who drink them.
In
you
my
ask
opinion,
me,
Amstel
Heineken
Light is the best beer there is. I could go on
can't
and
say
on
enough about it.
It's a light
no
beer
matter
that
how many
quenches
beers
your thirst.
Morning, folks. This is Captain Neely. Appears we've got the friendly skies all to ourselves.
While most people are just getting up, one airline is off to over 200 business centers across the U.S. United.
Thanks for flying the friendly skies.
Soldier Field, Chicago. Over 300 dead batteries and 1 die-hard battery. Our most powerful ever jump-starts every one. Die-hard. More power when you need it most.
Well, if you were with us last week, you saw Bill Walsh's friend out at the 49er practice, that beautiful hawk swooping, and you said that that's what you dreamed of, being the freedom. And then this week you found out an ornithologist called you?
A turkey buzzard. I thought I had a hawk. I was identifying with it. I saw it swooping around, and really what I was looking for is a dead carcass out there to eat. So I guess it was apropos.
So if a guy knocks on the door, gray-haired turkey buzzard, don't give him anything. That's a definite trick. So the Browns open the second quarter, 3rd down and 2 at their own 30-yard line, trailing 7-0. Kozar swings it to Metcalf. And he vaults forward to the 33, a first down. He went head first at college, University of Texas. His jumps were feet first, and he had the 3rd best long jump in the nation in 1988. When he leaped 27.8, that would have been good enough to make the U.S. Olympic team for Seoul. He said he was injured during the trials and couldn't jump his best.
You don't think Houston was running after that screen because he's so deadly out there. They've been practicing all week to stop him getting outside with linemen in front of him.
From the 33, Cleveland. Kozar has Langhorne way out to the left, and Webster Slaughter now slides in from the right side. Good protection. And finally, he hits his man at the 39-yard line. That was Eric Metcalf, who slipped over the middle. One of these days, the Browns feel that Metcalf is going to get one of those passes against a linebacker and turn on the jets and go a long way. Kozar, meanwhile, as he threw the ball, took a knock.
Doug Smith and Richard Byrd, 71 and 99, really take him out after he throws. Here it is. Now, what they want to do is slow Bernie down. But Jerry Glanville indicated they've done this to him, and he still managed to beat Houston with his poise and his accuracy right at the end of a ball game. So nobody's going to cave in, especially Bernie.
Metcalf weaving his way out to the 42-yard line, a yard shy of a first down. You saw Manoah turn and look back at Metcalf. As a coach, that always had to worry you, and it appeared that they didn't exactly work that play in sync, Manoah and Metcalf.
Well, it could be that Metcalf, I don't think that play would have been a factor, wouldn't know the complete offense at this point, but maybe there's some signal they use between them. But you know, Metcalf's so small, you're not sure he can carry that ball 15, 20, 25 times in a game, but his goal is to make 100 yards running. And in order to do that, he's going to have to get a 30 or 40-yard runoff at some point in this game.
His best so far, 78 yards against Miami. 3rd and about a yard and a half. Kozar. Metcalf was wide open, but up comes 4th down. Against the Oilers, as you can see, 12% lower than against the rest of the NFL, Kozar. So there's something about that Houston defense. that has the young quarterback of the Browns puzzled through his young career.
Well, Bernie Kosar indicated that Houston will come with two packages. One will be tight man-to-man, bump and run. The other one will be a pure soft zone, and he's naturally hoping to get the bump and run so he can throw deep. But these corners from Houston are right on top of the receivers. You're going to get a lower percentage of completion. Look at that punt.
Wagner, and a fair catch by Johnson, and it's going to take a Cleveland bounce, and it's going to be down at the 3-yard line. Wagner does Montgomery, the Houston punter, one better.
Liberty Mutual Insurance presents Legends of the Game. He was one of only 19 players to intercept over 50 passes in his career and was considered one of the greatest cornerbacks ever to play the game. A member of the Steel Curtain for 14 years, he played in all 4 Pittsburgh Super Bowl victories. Who was this legend?
Liberty Mutual presents the automobile accident that never happened, because we continually work to prevent auto accidents and injuries. In helping to pioneer safety belts, Liberty Mutual Insurance helped make driving safer for everyone. Caring for people is why America believes in liberty.
Almost home. America believes in liberty. Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Mel Blount was the prototype cornerback whose play earned him a spot in the Hall of Fame in 1989. A true legend of the game.
I like catching a ride. The fire in your eyes. Heading upstream. Girl of my dreams and cold Coors beer. It takes a part of this country as cold and clean as the Rockies to brew a beer as pure and natural as Coors. Brewery fresh, just like you like it. Tap an ice cold Coors with a friend of yours. A Rocky Mountain legend, an American original.
Sunday Silence, 1989 Kentucky Derby and Preakness champion. Easy Goer. His victory at the Belmont spoiled Sunday Silence's bid for the coveted Triple Crown. Now they meet again in a race that will determine Horse of the Year. The Breeders' Cup, next Saturday on NBC.
The Breeders' Cup next Saturday after Halloween. They're all here in the dog pound today. Leading 7-0 early in the second quarter, 12:16 remaining before halftime, and Moon in his own end zone with flags down. He's going long for Drew Hill, and he's got it. And Hill is tackled at the 47-yard line. And again, a play where Hill actually slowed up. The defender went by. Hanford-Dixon, a 50-yard play if it counts, and it appears it will.
Defense, number 92 offside. Penalty is declined. First down.
Big play for Drew Hill, 50 yards.
Well, that was, you'll see some offside here, but the key to this thing is the beautiful throw by Moon. He's getting excellent protection down the field. Now watch Drew Hill, what great explosive speed. He's got a fast man with him, but now watch the concentration right at the end of that catch. It's just a beautiful job, and what these receivers from Houston are doing and just concentrating on the ball, whether it's thrown over their head or coming back for it.
Caught that one right off the numbers on the back of Hanford-Dixon for the first down at the 47 of Cleveland.
Dixon was right there.
Alonzo Highsmith. They came in with a 4 wide receiver set and ran the football. That crossed up Cleveland, and Highsmith has nearly 10 yards before Dixon can make the stop.
Well, we had a completely missed block here. We jumped for position underneath, but he just missed the handoff. So you'll see that really Highsmith was a little fortunate getting outside that without a blocker, but now watch him run upfield tough and strong. Now Warren Moon likes this set for running or passing. When we ask him which he'd prefer, this is what he wants right here.
4 wide receivers, 1 running back. It's Highsmith this time, and they're waiting for him. A loss of a couple. Michael Dean Perry spearheaded the charge as we go to NFL Live in New York.
Okay, Dick, first quarter at the Hoosier Dome. Here's Jack Trudeau, a beautifully thrown ball for a 22-yard touchdown to Andre Rison, who takes it in his stride for his first NFL touchdown. Now watch this maneuver with his teammate Clarence Verdant. A little Verdance to celebrate. Very nice. 10-3 Colts. Back to Dick and Bill.
It really was very nice, wasn't it, Bob?
That's what we do before the telecast.
Well,
right?
That's Verdance. We do Verdance. Second down and 12. Moon escapes. Great job. Still on his feet. But Thane Gash drops him back at the 46-yard line.
Combination of two things. Great pressure by Cleveland and great athletic ability by Warren Moon. He made 3 people miss, but the intensity of the pass rush finally caught up to him. Once he has to look at the pass rushers, he takes his eye off the downfield receivers. You see, now he's not looking up the field. He's just trying to avoid, and he can't finally make it. There's too many people. Once that quarterback takes his eye off those receivers, he's strictly a running back.
Gash. Thane Gash is now playing in that safety spot. East Tennessee State logs the sack. 3rd and 19. Screen to Highsmith. He has some blockers. But good pursuit by the Browns, and they make the tackle at the 40-yard line.
The Browns were in the right defense. They backed up into a deep zone. I don't think I've seen many teams this year back that far off the line, but they're waiting for that screen. Well-executed screen, but just too many defenders. What you're going to see is a screen pass working to the outside here with linemen out, then a cutback, but these defenders are in perfect position to play anything in front of them. This is sort of that prevent defense. There's the screen right in front of you. Highsmith cutting back, but there's just too many people, a picket fence of people coming back toward him. He can't avoid all of them.
And the losses on that sequence forced Houston out of field goal range. Look at this unusual setup. They run 2 men out to the left. There was some kind of trickery involved by Jerry Glanville as he moved 2 men way out to the left and snapped it to Montgomery. That appeared to be either well, looked to be a pass by Montgomery.
Here's decline. 4th down.
They decline the penalty. They don't want to give Montgomery the extra punting yardage. They give him a chance to loft one down there. They'd rather squeeze the field on him.
Cleveland looks well prepared for all of these things. I think that was a ploy to see if they could get Cleveland to jump offside or get in a formation that couldn't rush the punter.
No rush here. Aims it for the sidelines. McNeil takes that ball. Was that a fair catch? He runs halfway. I guess it was, out at the 8-yard line. Oh, the Ice Cube has it inside the 10 with a timeout.
Looking for something phantom? Or should I say, Susie?
Why? Well, because Coors Light won't slow you down.
Cuffer. Well, now everyone can enjoy Coors Light this Halloween.
Can I buy you one?
Not now, thanks. I'm driving.
You can still enter the Coors Light $100,000 Phantom of the Fridge sweepstakes.
It's Susie.
Visit the Coors Light Halloween display for clues.
Forget the clues. It's Susie.
I tell my dad I'm buying a new car, and he'd say, Fluffer and Fluckertash, get a sensible car. Get a comfortable car. Doc, get a gorgeous car. Get a reasonably priced car. I did! A Cutlass Sierra. Great when you buy it, drive it, trade it. What more can a family want?
That's all, folks.
Now get up to a $1,600 cash bonus on a 1990 Cutlass Sierra. See your Olds dealer today.
Whenever I used to watch TV, my brother Tom would always flip me out. Then we got this Magnavox smart window TV that lets Tommy flip through all the channels. And I could keep watching what I want to.
Now I can see what I've been missing.
And that's quite a lot.
A fiber that's pound for pound, 5 times stronger than steel, and is used in this bullet-resistant vest.
makes up the unique belt of Road Handler Treadlock radials. Great low prices, Road Handler tough. That's your money's worth and a whole lot more.
The Colts. The Dolphins. Great legs. And a deadly arm. Then he runs. And he throws. Elway and the Broncos battle the Steelers. An NBC football doubleheader next Sunday.
And a look at the scoreboard. Rams Chicago still no score. Buffalo has scored again 14-3. Indianapolis 10-3 against New England. Cincinnati, Eric Ball on a short run gives the Bengals the lead. Phoenix still in front of Dallas. Pittsburgh up by 10 against Kansas City. Detroit and New Orleans also lead in the second. Here at 7-0 Houston, Bernie Kosar starts from his own 8. It's Metcalf. Not much there. In fact, barely able to get back to the line of scrimmage. Al Smith and Richard Byrd in on the tackle. Al Smith, number 54. He went to Utah State, and much like David Grayson of Cleveland, they both were freshmen at Cal Poly Pomona when they dropped the program. So Roman Gabriel had a couple pretty good linebackers there.
He did some recruiting, I'll guarantee you that.
He wants to be a law enforcement FBI man after his football career.
What a bright, articulate guy. Very impressive.
Second down 10.
Good protection.
Going for Newsome, intercepted. And Bubba McDowell, the rookie from Miami of Florida, has a touchdown. There is a flag on the play. So hold on, and it's in the defensive backfield.
Most likely an illegal block of some kind after the interception.
McDowell, who had 2 interceptions last week against the Steelers. And we wait for the... So there will be no touchdown, but the ball will be...
Illegal hands in the back. Number 96 on the intercepting on the return. It'll be first down for the intercepting team after a 10-yard penalty.
Sean Jones with the illegal block. But the Oilers have it deep in Cleveland territory.
Well, Kosar tried to throw the ball a corner pattern to his tight end, and we fell back and made the interception right here. He didn't see this man as he threw the ball. Now you see right here, he comes back inside, makes the interception. Now on the right of your screen, you'll see the illegal block right there, right here, above the waist, but from behind.
McDowell's touchdown return denied, but Houston starts at the Cleveland 26-yard line. Triple left. Moon going deep. Hill. Oh my, Tony Blaylock knocked it away at the last minute.
Well, this is something that Warren Moon was talking about yesterday. He wanted to go right, stop, and throw back left, hoping to pull the safeties with him. But Blaylock just fought for that. He was beaten early, and it just took a super effort to get back and break that thing up. Well thrown ball.
Jerry Glanville sends in Alan Pinkett for Alonzo Highsmith. Pinkett, part of that stable of 5 running backs. Lorenzo White, Mike Rozier, Alonzo Highsmith, rookie Tracy Johnson, and Pinkett, the smallest, quickest of the lot. And it's Pinkett. But I think, Bill Walsh, that the defensive teams around the league are a bit wise to that. When Pinkett comes in, they often run. They don't very often. They set up in that 4-wide set, but they give it to Pinkett on the run.
Right. Pinkett's not about to sit back in there and pick up linebackers or defensive linemen. So if he's in there, most likely it's a screen or a draw to him. Whereas Highsmith's got a little more versatility. He can do all of those things. Pinkett, of course, can make the big plays.
And made the big 60-yard run against the Bears in the fourth quarter 2 weeks ago that led Houston to a comeback win.
So far, the Browns have played excellent defense on this drive.
So on 3rd and 7, Warren Moon wants to talk it over. The time is called. We have 6:52 remaining in the first half. The Oilers threaten to add to the 7-0 lead.
Announcing a new generation of owner satisfaction. We're so sure you'll love your new Oldsmobile. We'll let you return it within 30 days or 1,500 miles if you don't. Who else does that? Unlike some warranties, Oldsmobiles covers just one part. This is the part. Oldsmobile now offers roadside assistance around the clock, even in places where there aren't any clocks. The Oldsmobile Edge, there's nothing else like it.
I like hanging around, getting down, walking the dog, doing the town. I like everything I got right here. Rainbows and cold Coors beer. It takes a part of this country as cold and clean as the Rockies to brew a beer as pure and natural as Coors. Brew refresh, just like you like it. Tap an ice cold Coors with a friend of yours. A Rocky Mountain legend, an American original.
Individuals performing together, listening, arranging, building. At Northwest, our performance is helping you do business, getting you wherever you need to go on time, creating new ways to make things work for you. Because our job is helping you do yours.
NBC sports coverage of the National Football League is brought to you by Coors, brewery fresh, pure, and natural. It's a true American original. By the new generation of Oldsmobile. Step into the future now at your Oldsmobile dealer. And by Zenith. The quality goes in before the name goes on.
To this AFC Central battle between the Houston Oilers and Cleveland Browns. Dick Enberg with Bill Walsh. Houston leads 7-0. This is a 3rd and 7 from the Cleveland 23. Moon-to-Jeffries. And the lanky wide receiver is twisted down at the 15-yard line. It appears good enough for a first down. They needed 7. They got 8.
Well-timed ball. Moon throws that ball on a line. He can get it there and time it. Those kind of patterns. And again, he's worked so long and hard with these people that the timing is there. All his hard work in the offseason, the so-called mini camps, that ball is just thrown on a line. Just as Jeffries turns, he gets a completion. Very tough to make a stop on that unless there's somebody underneath that pass that forces him to throw it a little higher or a little softer.
Hanford Dixon made the tackle. You saw Moon look off. Felix Wright, who has given Moon trouble through the years, he was conscious of that, trying to look the other way before gunning. First down at the 15, triple right formation. Into the end zone and almost intercepted. The intended receiver was Curtis Duncan, but Tony Blaylock and Frank Minifield had perfect coverage.
Excellent coverage. That time they tried to hit a corner pattern, but there are just too many people in the way. Tough pattern to throw at this point on the field.
Second and 10 at the Cleveland 50.
Felix Wright, number 22 in the secondary for Cleveland, played in the Canadian League for 3 years against Warren Moon. Said, I always had good luck against him, and I think I can read his eyes. And Moon is alert to that. And when we talked with Moon, he said, I know he thinks that. I'll look him off.
Well, he's got 7 interceptions career-wise against Moon, so he must see something.
Alan Pinkett. Look at the quickness of Pinkett as he darts for about 8 yards before Felix Wright can make the tackle.
Well, Dick, that was the same play they ran against the Bears a few weeks ago when Pinkett made that big run to win the ball game. Same play. They isolate him in the backfield, pillar guard and tackle, and he just splits that little edge to his left.
Third down and 2. At the 7-yard line, Alonzo Highsmith comes in for Pinkett. Duncan and Gibbons to the right, Hill and Jeffries to the left. Now Hill in motion. And the give to Highsmith. He gets to the 5-yard line. It's going to be very close to a first down. The Dean of Defense, the MD, Michael Dean Perry from Clemson, 6 feet tall, 280 pounds. He says, I'm a connoisseur of fast foods.
Boy, has he turned into a player, though. I have to say he's a little better athlete than his brother. A little quicker, and he's not carrying the weight. But he's turned into one of the top players in the league. And really, he was drafted a little late because they were worried he'd have the same weight problems as the Fridge did with Chicago. But thus far, he's really been a force.
They're about a half-yard shy of the first down, so rather than gamble, apparently, it'll be Tony Zendejas, a 23-yard field goal attempt. Montgomery to hold, and the kick is good. It just did hook through. Wow. Montgomery and Zendejas have not been quite in sync this year. There's been a lot of talk about Montgomery spotting, and then to add to the formula, the Oilers had a new man at center. Jay Pennison's been hurt, and George Jarno was the snapper. Watch this. It hits the upright. Billiard shot, and it caroms through. It's 10-0 Houston.
If he'd have been a yard deeper kicking that ball, it would have missed. Just 1 yard difference. But all in all, you'd have to say Cleveland played excellent defense during that possession. Houston got the ball with the lead. They got the ball in field position, and Cleveland held them off. So that they're not in deep trouble at this point, but they're going to have to get field position.
And don't forget, it was McDowell had the touchdown on the interception, but for the penalty. So instead of 7, they got only 3. Next week, a doubleheader here on NBC. Indianapolis will be at Miami. The Browns go south as well to Tampa Bay, Seattle, Kansas City, Buffalo at Atlanta. The Jets play New England in the first half of the doubleheader. And then Cincinnati plays the Raiders. Pittsburgh will be at Mile High Stadium against Denver in the second half.
Can you believe how Miami's coming on? That shows greatness in coaching. It really does. All of the people that were saying that Don Shula maybe had passed his prime shows you how resourceful he is and where that experience and that knowledge and whatever great gifts he has to bring his team right back out of it. Should be a great game next week.
Eric Metcalf is the deep man for Cleveland as Zendejas, that short run up, hits it high but short and hooks it toward the sidelines. And that's the whole style as Keith Jones gets only to the 25-yard line. Jerry Glanville just having his kickers kick it very high and short. Don't allow the return. Buffalo now moves ahead of the Dolphins 14-3. Pittsburgh adds another field goal by Gary Anderson. He's kicked 2, 41 and 48 yards today.
Well, we're going to have to get something right here. Going to have to get a series of first downs to get the ball on the other end of the field. Either score or give it up down at the other end.
4 minutes, 11 seconds remaining in the half. Ozzie Newsome yet to get a catch. Manoa, a yard before Johnny Meads, who played at Nicholls State, gets him from behind. Ozzie Newsome, who has caught a ball in 150 consecutive NFL games, yet to receive one today, and Ozzie comes limping off. Well, apparently not. He's going to stay in there, but a little gimpy. He's been a great player here. This undoubtedly his last season. He's been offered a lifetime job by Art Modell. And says he will not coach. He just knows the players too well. He'll move into the front office next season. Goes 5 for 9, only 38 yards on 2nd and 9. Down the middle, sidearms to Slaughter. First down, 43-yard line.
Everybody bunched up in a blitz mode. One thing you have to really admire about Kozar, he's just so cool sitting back there waiting. He had a lot of people after him. Now watch Slaughter push up the field and that sharp break underneath. Beautifully timed ball. Now they need a couple of these. I'd like to think they're going to start throwing on first down. There's no use waiting. Get the ball in the air. That's their opportunity.
170 pounds, a bit heavy for Slaughter. He told me he weighs only 165. 1:43 left in the half. Going deep. Langhorne intercepted. Steve Brown. And he's back to the Cleveland 43-yard line. So interceptions by McDowell, now by Brown, and the dog pound is growling.
Again, it was the fact that Bernie thought he could get it over the corner's head and didn't quite make it.
Brown's 4th interception of the season.
Again, you'll see a rotation right here, and Bernie wants to throw the ball over the top right here. Right here over the top, not enough loft on it, and we get underneath it. Again, he's throwing the ball with some touch, but he's not identifying that zone defender.
Well, this has been one of the strengths of Kozar here in Cleveland. The fact that he so rarely throws interceptions, has, coming into the year, the best record of any NFL starting quarterbacks in least interceptions, but coughs up a couple today. And now on the season, as Steve Brown celebrates his 4th of the year, Kozar has thrown 8 touchdown passes, but 9 interceptions.
Well, Dick, he's trying to do too much. That's all. They're not running the ball well, and he's got to carry the team.
From the 40 after the penalty, and Moon has 2.5 minutes to add to the 10-0 lead. Underneath, the pass to Pinkett. Little screen play, and Pinkett has 10. He has 12 yards, and a first down at the Browns 48.
That's one of the original run and shoot kind of plays where Moon will sprint out, draw people through him, and just dunk a little screen pass right in front of him. That's the 2nd time they've done it. Both times it's been effective.
Trying to get a play off before the 2-minute timeout. And apparently they're not going to make it. There's the whistle. 2 minutes remaining in the first half. Houston has a 10-0 lead, and Jerry Glanville's in the catbird seat.
Don't be fooled by
the Oilers have a first down at the Brownie 48. Quickie pass to Jeffries. Now, the thing about the Oilers, Bill Walsh, is that with Drew Hill and Ernest Gibbons, that team of receivers leading everyone in the NFL as a pair the last 2 seasons, and then you throw Duncan and Jeffries in there, and those 4 wideouts, someone always seems wide open.
They can be as good as anybody in football. The 2 people that are catching it now are Jeffries and Duncan. They're on the outside of that slot formation. The 2 quick people on the inside getting the double coverage. The people on the outside getting that single coverage. They've hit Jeffries a number of times now, all by himself out there.
Second down and less than a yard. Clock running, well, actually out of bounds, so it's 1:56. Wide open again. This time it's Drew Hill. First down at the Browns' 27-yard line. Tony Blaylock made the tackle. 11 more yards for Moon. He has 2 timeouts left in this half.
Again, just well-timed, quick hook patterns, 10 yards deep. Moon's practiced it and practiced it. There's no one underneath between the receiver and Moon, so we can drill the ball in there.
Clock running, end of the half, 10-0 Houston. Fake to Highsmith. Moon in trouble, throws back to Highsmith, incomplete. Almost deflected ahead, and Thane Gash nearly a play. Thane Gash, who played for the Buccaneers of East Tennessee State and has won that free safety job.
Well, this was going to be a design play, sort of a fake play with Moon coming back. You see, faking the draw, coming outside, then wanting to throw it again to Highsmith, and of course Highsmith doesn't catch it. Probably good. There's people all over him. Tried a little deception there. Maybe not the right time to do it. With Moon's ability to complete these passes underneath. Cleveland has to get a big play.
1:21 left in the half. Triple right. And Moon backs off and calls.
Offense.
Does not call time. Ran out of time, and that'll cost him a big 5. Jerry Glanville, who grew up near here, closer to Toledo, Ohio, before he went on and graduated from Northern Michigan, where he was a linebacker. And he's just one of those typical guys meant to be a coach, if not a salesman.
Well, there's a combination of both. There isn't any question that Jerry attracts attention to himself. There isn't any question about it. It all appears very sincere. But underneath it all, he's got a heck of a football mind. He really has knowledge. He's an excellent coach.
And he can motivate. Draw Highsmith. The big guy gets outside.
I think we've got a holding penalty back behind the line of scrimmage.
It is against the Oilers and denies a fine run of 10 yards by Alonso. So the Oilers moving backward, presented with the opportunity to add.
Holding, number 70, offense. 10 yards, second down.
Big Dean Steinkuhler, the right tackle. Here's Nebraska.
Right, it comes in as a great player out of college. One of the top players coming out.
Out of Nebraska, and they'll be playing Colorado next weekend. And probably the winner going on to the Orange Bowl and a chance at a national championship.
Second down, 25 for the Oilers at the Cleveland 3.
Oilers have really developed an excellent offensive line. Munchak and Matthews, the guards, both Pro Bowl players. Steinkuhler, second man picked in the draft. Pennison, Pro Bowl player.
Now they're out of field goal range now as Moon looks for something big. Nothing there. And Clay Matthews chases him out of bounds at the Cleveland 39-yard line, and that'll bring up 3rd down and 21. There's Clay Matthews, and Bud Carson paid him quite a compliment. He said, I have not seen a linebacker who can do so many things so well as Matthews since I coached Jack Ham.
Jack Ham, right. That goes back many years, and he's talking about great players along the way.
3rd and 21. Matthews, very bright. He was an academic All-America at Southern Cal. Has his master's degree, MBA. Right through the hands of Matthews, and it's incomplete. It appeared for a moment that it was caught by the Oilers. Matthews can't believe it. Drew Hill almost got the ricochet.
Well, this is one time that a linebacker got underneath these throws that Moon's been making. So he's going to drill the ball, and Matthews is going to cut right up underneath the throw. Well, we've been waiting for that all day, waiting for that big play by Cleveland, and they just can't make it happen.
And look at Drew Hill, his concentration. And it almost comes up with a catch. You can see it was not from the previous angle. So, the interception of Kozar. The Oilers were within field goal range, then penalties and mistakes. And Montgomery has to kick with 1:01 left in the half. And it's the Ice Cube inside the 10. Annie Fair catches the ball right there. A timeout. The Browns have 54 seconds and all their timeouts to cut into the lead.
Bernie's going to be very careful here. Can't afford any kind of a misplay.
Metcalf on a draw. Caught by the jersey and dragged down after a gain of 3 or 4. Other scores, fans didn't like the call. Lansford has kicked a long field goal to give the Rams the first score in Chicago. Buffalo now 21-3, and they have sacked Dan Marino. Marino after 19 consecutive games without being sacked. Tampa Bay comes back. Here 10-0 Houston. Kozar 2nd and 6. And he eats it at the 5-yard line as big Doug Smith from Auburn makes the tackle.
Well, this time there was just a 3-man rush with a zone defense, and Kozar had nowhere to go with the ball. He showed some poise. He felt he could get the ball up the field, and then finally there was a breakdown right at the end of it.
Don't you think, Bill, that after the 2 interceptions this half that Kozar as Metcalf after they turned to look at him, and now Metcalf to the right. Boy, what quickness. That'll get him alive here in Cleveland. Seven exciting yards for Eric Metcalf.
It was pretty well executed. There was an unblocked man, the strong safety on the outside. Eric just makes it. Oh no, it's a linebacker, Grimsley. Makes him miss. Up the field he goes. That is that super quickness. One thing his dad told him, Terry Metcalf told him, give yourself room on that sideline. That time Eric couldn't get it done.
But a good down to work with for Kozar, second and short. Fullback Manoa looks to have the first down in Houston territory across the 49.
Well, now they at least have field position. Even if they punt, they're going to have an advantage.
Houston took the opening kickoff and marched impressively for the only touchdown of the game. Took almost 9 minutes to go 68 yards in 14 plays when Moon hit Haywood-Jeffries. 13 yards for the score. And this is the first time in the game Cleveland has been on the Houston side of the field. Greg Riccozzi, who played at Miami, as so many teams now, with a great talent that has come out of that fine program. Jimmy Johnson, the coach now at Dallas. Riccozzi has used all means to make himself a better player.
Well, he's had a sports psychologist as a counselor, which I think is an excellent idea for these guys, not only on the field but off the field. But as far as Greg's concerned, his sports psychologist convinced him to think he's a bulldozer coming out of that huddle. His problem is, in this game, that Houston is moving that front all over, and he has a tough time sorting out the front to call it so that the blocking patterns can be put together. So he's got to not only take on excellent people physically, but he also has to make decisions. So that's where that counseling, in a sense, can help him.
Yeah, those bulldozers, sometimes even those psychologists know how to move the bull, don't they, huh? And it's a first down for Cleveland. 10-0 the score early in the second half. Play action. Complete Metcalf. And they just have too many blue jerseys on Metcalf no matter where he goes. John Grimsley, the linebacker, was there first. He leads the Oilers in tackles this year. Number 59.
Do they go after Metcalf? They know he's a smaller guy. They're going to take him from every angle to punish him. You know, Glanville talks about that. I'm a little embarrassed as a former coach. He talks about bloodying the opposition, those kind of things, and I'm sort of half embarrassed. I should have thought of that, I guess, when I coached.
Second down. 6 for Kozar. Little draw to Metcalf. Well, he wiggles. And a little late hit, but it was initiated by a Cleveland player blocking. Jeff Donaldson, 31, made the tackle near another first down.
Well, this looks like a better balance of play so far.
There's Donaldson. You saw that United Way spot. His daughter Samantha with a brain tumor and now doing very well, thank you. And there's a story to match that on the Cleveland sidelines as they come out to measure for the first down. Backup tight end Ron Middleton, who was acquired. It is another first down. Number 87, Middleton, really gone through a rough fall. He and his wife had a son prematurely that weighed 1 pound 14 ounces, and the same time was cut by the Washington Redskins. There's Middleton. Then Tampa Bay picked him up and cut him, and all the time his mind on his first son, Ron the second. And when the day finally came in the incubator, the doctor said, your son's going to make it. That day, Cleveland called and offered him a job. Flags go down. Face mask perhaps on Metcalf as Donaldson made the tackle.
Well, Cleveland came out at halftime with a plan.
5-yard face mask foul. 99 defense.
Now that'll take the ball to a first down. And those penalties will get to eat you up after a while.
Excellent job at cutting behind Smith, the nose man. There it is, right there. He reached out for it and got it. In a sense, that could have been a personal foul because it looked as though he tried to use it to actually make the tackle. It wasn't an inadvertent kind of face mask.
We're going to check to see where the foul takes the football.
So this will be right at the sticks again for possible another first down. What do you think Bud Carson did at halftime in terms of the Cleveland offense?
Well, what Trestman, the offensive coordinator, must have done is say, we've got to get out of that I formation and not just hammer it Metcalf inside. He's just not going to get anything done. Go into split backs, have potential pass receivers, do a little bit of trapping and run your draws and try to get something untracked that way. But again, Metcalf's not going to be able to continue to carry this ball all the way into that end zone. Bernie Kosar is going to have to throw for the big play in this drive. At some point, he's going to have to get 20 yards on a pass.
They really miss Kevin Mack, of course, who been sentenced to 6 months in prison for a drug-related crime. Big 235-pounder. Manoa doing the best he can, but primarily a blocker. First down and about 1.5 yards after that penalty. Manoa running into the back of his own blocker, and he'll be close to a first down. Time remaining in the third quarter, and Cleveland with its best drive of the game.
Well, that was a conservative call, but it had better be one because they can't take a chance on any kind of a loss here. They've just got to eke out these first downs until he can make his big play with a pass.
And he just did that. Another first down by a few inches at the Houston 29-yard line. In comes Derek Tennell, number 81 for Middleton. They go with a double tight end. Metcalf 29 yards of this drive, 25 rushing.
Metcalf says the difference is everybody's so much faster and so many more people hit you.
Cuts upfield, but could not quite break through as coming across with Johnny Meads to make the stop. Halftime tie in Chicago with the Rams. Buffalo still well ahead of Miami. Indianapolis at the half leads by a touchdown. Cincinnati, Boomer hits Eddie Brown 9 yards with 17 seconds left in the first half to take the lead. Phoenix in a battle of field goals leads by 3. Pittsburgh impressively at halftime 13 over Kansas City. Lions and Packers tied, and New Orleans still shutting out Atlanta. Second down, 8 Cleveland. Trailing 10-0. Houston whitewashed Pittsburgh last week. They've gone 6 quarters plus now with shutout ball. Reverse. Langhorn to the 9-yard line. He's the fastest man on the squad, Reggie Langhorn.
Well, it was well done with Langhorn in motion here, but you'll see people pulling to draw the defense with this man coming out ahead of it. So it's well executed. The offensive line pulling away the fake. Now here we have to the outside that key block right there. Then he cuts back inside of it. Great job down the field.
Tim Manoa was the man really fighting to hold that block. First and goal, Cleveland.
No mistakes.
Manoa close to the 5-yard line. Jeff Donaldson came up to make the tackle along with Al Smith, and now we got our first push and shove.
The team that's got to keep their poise right now is Cleveland. They're in position to score to bring this game right back together. They can't afford to lose their 7 points here.
Well, that's a nice turnabout for Bud Carson's Browns. More yards in this drive than they got the entire first half.
Also 7 minutes off that clock. So now Cleveland's doing what it's going to take to beat Houston. That's control the ball.
Second and goal from the 5.5. Fake to Manoa. Kosar. Touchdown! Be the first to remark that was in regular speed. That was not in slow motion. That was his regular speed. Ten to 6. Quite a drive, and they did it with nickel and dimes. They didn't have the big plays. Just one first down after another. Here's Matt Barr's try for point. And suddenly, the difference in the game is a field goal that ricocheted off the upright for Houston. It's 10 to 7.
Well, they had to put it together right. You notice Kozar wants to throw that way. He's in trouble. Now watch, just before he goes for the end zone, he fakes the pass. And that's what pulls people off balance.
10-7, Houston.
Talk to me, CJ. What are you really feeling?
It's very sweet.
This is what sets every Mazda apart. It's called Kansei engineering. Engineering based on human feelings.
Keep an eye on his pulse, please.
With it, Mazda can actually learn how to create cars that feel just right. Because to us, feeling right is what driving is really all about. Mazda.
It just feels right.
Can't stand this heat. Do you have something cold, like a beer?
The clean, fresh taste of Bud Light for those who don't take their light beer lightly.
Sorry.
Liberty Mutual presents property damage that never happened. Our experience in helping prevent property loss has made us a leader in business property insurance.
America believes in liberty. Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Soldier Field, Chicago. Over 300 dead batteries and one die-hard battery. Our most powerful ever jump-starts every one. Die Hard. More power when you need it most.
NBC sports coverage of the National Football League is brought to you by Bud Light. Everything else is just a light. By Mazda Cars and Trucks. Mazda, it just feels right. And by Liberty Mutual. For your insurance and financial service needs, America believes in Liberty Mutual.
Hardly enough breeze out on the lake for the men that are out for a Sunday sail to get any action. But plenty inside at Cleveland Stadium as this Browns crowd comes to life. It's 10-7. Lorenzo White from Michigan State to the 20. And out to the 30-yard line for Houston. What a drive to start the second half as Kozar sends the Browns 71 yards in 13 plays, 6.5 minutes. The longest play was 18 yards. The reverse by Langhorne, and Kozar caps it off.
What Kozar wants to do is hit Metcalf in the flat, but it's taken away, so then he'll have to find a way to run with it himself. You'll see him look to his right. He wants Metcalf. It's taken away by the linebacker. Now his move right here is good. That's Joe Montana. Not quite as quick as Joe, but same instincts.
Got the job done. And he really brought life back to this huge crowd in Cleveland. Mike Rozier gets 3. That 5-yard sprint by Kozar was the longest in his NFL career. And
that will really help his rushing average.
There's a real-time replay.
Now you see the pass protection right in front of us. And Bernie coming to the outside. Now look at that little fake. Good instincts. A little more speed. Who knows? It might have been a running back.
Might have.
But that's an excellent play.
Second down and 7.
Big series for Cleveland.
Oops. Michael Dean Perry into the backfield. Well, Joe Costanza, he doesn't let anything slip by. That is not the longest run of Bernie Kozar's career.
92.
It's the longest touchdown run. His longest run was a 23-yard effort that took most of the third quarter of a game 4 years
ball
ago.
Control.
He knows how to eat up the clock, indeed. Well, having a lot of fun, but here's a guy that knows how to win. May not be the most beautiful picture passer nor the fastest runner, but he's taken the Browns to 4 straight playoffs, and no one in the American Conference can make that comment. 4 straight. Highsmith all the way to midfield and a first down. Highsmith was averaging 4.2 yards a rush on the season and was the favored by so many teams coming out in the draft. I know Dan Reeves of the Broncos just was in love with the talents of this guy.
Mike Ditka said he's a big stud athlete. He's a perfect prototype fullback. Now he can reach out and run here. Little movement. Again, they're going to have to support the edges of the defense. He's skidded the edge of this defense 2 or 3 times now. Highsmith,
who grew up in Montreal, Canada. His family moved to Miami when he was a junior in high school just so he could play football. Whoops! Pinkett caught in the backfield. Clay Matthews finishes the job, but it was Big Daddy Carl Hairston who had invaded and almost took the handoff.
Well, they finally caught up to that roll draw in which they'll come to the outside, hand it back and want to break back to the other side, but Hairston was right in the middle of it. He penetrated so far they couldn't get it done. Then Matthews' tackle was clean. He tucked his head up, his feet up underneath him, because he was tackling a real deceptive football player.
Second down, 13. Well, this is where Houston's dangerous. The 4 wideouts.
There's that screen.
And Bubba Baker knocks it down. A veteran from Colorado State in his 12th year, Bubba Baker, who branded his arm with a B back in his college days to initiate himself into the fraternity Bubba Phi Bubba.
Well, they tried that same screen pass. They'd been running to their left, but you see Baker jumps up and bats it. They wanted to throw the ball right there. So they finally found a way to stop that screen. That's get that defensive end all over.
Al is also, he writes comedy. What kind? He says, well, David Letterman type comedy. Maybe David could get into Bubba Phi Bubba. Down the middle and open and incomplete. Drew Hill had it, but it might have been deflected by Anthony Blaylock. Tony got a piece of it and deflected it off the chest of Hill, and the Oilers have to punt.
The Blaylocks had some excellent coverage in this game. You know, he lost his corner job, the starting corner job. They thought he'd be their starting corner going into the season, but he wasn't quite getting it done. A little holding there, but he's all over his man. Great job.
Drew Hill thought he had it, and so did Blaylock. Gerald McNeil inside the 10. Montgomery nails a perfect spiral. McNeil going to let it bounce and will take the touchback at the 20. Oh, the Browns, who have scored to start this second half, have it back. It's 10-7 Houston.
In a world of distractions and unexpected turns, a car should be like a friend you don't have to talk to. The Mazda 626 is actually engineered to feel just that way, resulting in an uncanny ability to make you feel in control. At the same time, it makes you feel relaxed. The 626 from Mazda.
It just feels right.
Easy door, and the winner of that probably horse of the year. A little flea flicker.
Oh, he's got it.
And Slaughter wide open. And Webster Slaughter's got a big one again. Speaking of thoroughbreds, Webster Slaughter, he's a distance horse. 97 yards Monday night, and in the same week he gets an 80-yard bomb wide open from Bernie Kosar. Here's a try for point from Matt Barr. And Cleveland leads 14-10, and they love it in Ohio.
right here. That's easy enough, but watch the people bite on this, and you'll get straight down the field for the touchdown. Now you see Donaldson, the weak safety right there, come forward, and that's the end of the play. Now Slaughter's behind everybody, and it's over. I'll tell you, it's a great play by Slaughter, but Kozar threw a very delicate pass there. He had to get that completed, and he threw it beautifully.
Boy, Slaughter 10 yards in the clear, gets 80 yards in a score, and Cleveland with 2 quick touchdowns here in the third quarter has the lead 14-10. Wagner kicks it off. Kenny Johnson fumbles, and it's recovered by Houston inside the 15-yard line. Don Maggs, a backup offensive lineman in the wedge, alertly fell on that ball. Maggs from Tulane. And boy, they're barking in the pound.
All the intensity aside and all the intimidation aside, now both teams have to execute.
Meanwhile, the other scores, Miami gets a touchdown pass from Marino. Cincinnati has the lead against Tampa Bay. Kansas City got a touchdown throw from DeBerg. Green Bay a field goal lead. Atlanta scored on a Chris Miller pass. Well, you said that we'd see some long touchdown passes, and Cleveland gets the big one and the lead. Moon out of the shotgun. To Ernest Gibbons, and he's tackled by David Grayson. A first down out across the 25-yard line. Tackled by David Grayson. This may be where Moon and the Oilers are at their best. They get in that 4 wide out, the red gun formation.
I tell you, Grayson had to do a great job of coverage there because he's covering one of the fastest people in the game, and Grayson's a 230-pound athlete.
Grayson in the opener this year against the Steelers had both a touchdown interception and a fumble recovery touchdown.
The basic defense is in there for Cleveland. They're not their nickel defense. They're playing their basic defense against this 4-receiver offense.
Highsmith can't make the catch. Incomplete.
Bud Carson said before the game he doesn't want to automatically go nickel with extra defensive backs against this 4-receiver because they'll run the ball so much. So they're sitting in their basic defense. Now they're substituting.
And that little pass to Highsmith dump off is almost like a run, and Warren Moon saying, come on, that's about as excited as you'll see a quarterback of the Oilers. Look at the turnabout in offense by Cleveland.
These Oilers are deadly in this kind of a situation with all that speed and that great quarterback.
From under center he goes to Highsmith up the middle. And Alonzo Highsmith pounds to the Cleveland 47-yard line before Dixon and Wright can make the tackle. 25 yards for Highsmith.
That's just what Cleveland didn't want. We just mentioned they'd stayed in their base defense against this formation. This time they substituted, not enough linebacking in the game, and there goes Highsmith. So with people like Highsmith in that backfield and Pinkett, they spread you out and then they run the ball. This is what really worried Bud Carson going into this thing.
Highsmith's longest run of the year. His previous was 16. Trailing 14-10. First down from the Cleveland 46. Draw to Pinkett. Breaking tackles. Oh, is he hit at the 40. Coming up to make the hit. Now a flag goes down as Felix Wright. Now the Oilers, who led the league in penalties last year, are second in most penalty yards, but first in number of penalties this year. Have another 10-yarder.
Well, these are the kind of things that are just keep the Oilers from being a great team.
Number 74, offense, 10 yards, first down.
Don't forget they've lost a touchdown today because of a penalty. The Bubba McDowell interception called back. They kept the ball, got 3 out of it, but didn't get the full 7 because of a illegal block on the return by McDowell. So sooner or later, while that reflects some aggressive play, it takes its own toll.
It's tough to make this game personal. As soon as you do, as soon as there's a personal vendetta, and it becomes personal, these kind of fouls show up. You can't have them if you're going to be a championship team.
First down and 20. He's got Duncan open. And it's a touchdown. No, he got him on the 1-yard line. He did not go in. And what a pass by Moon to the streaking Curtis Duncan. And there it is again, Bill. They go to that 3rd and 4th receiver, and all of them can get open.
Duncan's on the outside, and he just goes straight up the field with a nice outside move. And I'm not sure the coverage was man-to-man or not. The weak safety just didn't get over there, but it was a beautiful move by Duncan. Again, you've got one of the great quarterbacks in the game throwing that ball. Just such a beautiful, accurate pass.
And beating a Pro Bowler, Frank Minifield, as Duncan gets 55 yards on the throw. 1st and goal from the 1 as the Oilers try to answer the bomb by Cleveland. Into the end zone goes Mike Rozier, and it's Houston leading.
Touchdown, Houston. A flag on the play.
Hold it, another flag on the play.
Defense lined up in the neutral zone. Got penalties declined. Touchdown.
Mike Rozier's first touchdown of this season.
This is what Houston didn't do against the Bears, and it almost cost them the game. They're putting Rozier over the top. If you remember against the Bears, Dick, they went down underneath trying to make their yards, and they couldn't get it done.
Well, the man who is assigned the heavy yards, Mike Rozier, gets the one that they needed and the lead as Zendejas tries the point after out of punter Greg Montgomery's hole. Remember, a short field goal. He hit the upright in the first half. This one is good. And timeout. 2 minutes left in the 3rd quarter. The Oilers come back for the lead at 17-14.
During her
catch from Warren Moon as Moon drives his Oiler teams quickly for the lead at 17-14. A reminder to our viewers, we'll be selecting our Budweiser most valuable player and announce that at the conclusion of today's game. Again, it's Keith Jones on the short kick, and he'll get it back to the 30-yard line. Back to that long pass to Duncan. Whoa, wait a minute. Eddie Johnson with a stiff right hand as he goes after Jeff Donaldson. That's got to be a penalty. The officials were looking right at it. Let's see. Just kind of overlooked that one, I guess. First down, Cleveland at the 30.
Well, Cleveland picks up where they left off. They'll be fine. Just methodically move that ball down the field.
They start with Metcalf way out to the left, outside Webster Slaughter, near side of your screen. A fake on the reverse, and then Kozar, and a flag goes down.
That's a trouble play. The problem with that play, Dick, is that Kozar's coming left, and he's right-handed, so he can't get around quickly enough to throw. Tough play to execute.
Decline the holding penalty. Take the sack as Ray Childress and Al Smith got into Kozar's way.
It's so tough for that quarterback to come out left and then want to throw when he's right-handed. See, he's going to have a hard time getting his shoulder back to throw with that heat on him. He can't avoid people. Virtually everything we did with Montana, San Francisco was to his right. Even though the opposition knew it, we didn't want Joe going left to throw right-handed.
Well, they had to count on the look to Metcalf to hold that defense, but they didn't play the Metcalf sweep. They went right after Kozar. They obviously had seen that play before. Childress was the man there first. Second down, 17. And the Browns forced to call timeout with 1:20 to go in the 3rd quarter. A look at next week's lineup on the NBC doubleheader Sunday. That'll follow the Breeders' Cup racing action on Saturday. There they are. Hope you'll join us for your team. Bill and I will be in Miami to see the Dolphins and the Colts, AFC East. Second half of the doubleheader. 2 outstanding games. The Bengals at the Raiders and Pittsburgh at Denver.
Well, it's going to take a Kozar pass here to get about half of this yardage on this play. They need 8 to 10 yards on this pass. But they've got to get field position, or Houston's still dangerous. They can do this again. They've got that great downfield throwing.
Cincinnati gets another touchdown. James Brooks run, and Green Bay has moved up 10 points on the Lions. Green Bay could go 4.
You know, that's quarterback to coach.
That's an interesting comment, however. 2nd and 16. Down the middle. Oh. Caught by Slaughter. He's got another one. Monday, 80 yards today, now 77 yards. They're going to name this the Slaughterhouse.
Oh, I bet Jeff Donaldson wishes he had that play back. As the free safety, he was supposed to make a play on it, and he misjudged the ball.
What a quarter for Kozar and Slaughter. They start down 10-0. They drive with a kickoff to start this second half for a touchdown, and then Kozar to Slaughter 80, Kozar to Slaughter 77. Barr adds the extra point, and now the Browns are back in front. 21-17. How did he get open? That was just one of those bang.
We had a zone defense and the post pattern that breaks between it, but watch, both people don't play it very well. Rarely do you get away with this pass, but you see the ball, both people just missed the play of the ball. Beautifully thrown. And of course, Slaughter has great concentration.
Now, Slaughter at 6 feet tall, which by today's standards of wide receivers, fairly tall, 165.
You see, Allen's in pretty good shape in the zone. He doesn't break on that ball quite quickly enough. That's the kind of thing that Dan Fouts did so well over the years. Kozar has the same touch.
Well, he knows the way. Webster Slaughter. Oh my. Look at that. In the second half, Kozar is 4 for 4, 166 yards. That's a pretty good average.
Both teams have got explosive downfield pass offenses. Of course, we knew this coming in. But what fireworks in both of these clubs.
41.5 yards per pass. Alan Pinkett, Lorenzo White are deep this time. It's coming down to White in the end zone. Going to take it out. Oh, he stops. He's got to go now. And he stopped at the 15-yard line. Hey, that's getting to be fun. What a quarter. Clifford Charlton made the tackle. Now it's Houston's turn.
Well, we know Houston will do okay because of their quarterbacking and their concept. But, of course, Cleveland will also. This is going to be a great quarter, Bill. It really will. Cleveland's got field position now. If they can just hold Moon down to maybe 1 first down and get the ball back near midfield, they're in position. And look for those runs out of that 4-receiver offense. When we see Moon under the center with 4 receivers, look for Highsmith or Pinkett to carry the ball.
Webster Slaughter, a moment of thought on the sidelines, perhaps even prayer. Well, they've been answered this week for him. Moon goes long, and no one there. Haywood Jeffries was the closest Oiler. And that's one of those read passes where Moon thought Jeffries was going to come inside, and he stayed along the sidelines.
Yeah, they give a lot of time to reading coverages, and occasionally they'll misread it between the two of them.
You're talking about Moon and what a player he is. It's also what a man he is. You know, you hear a lot of players say they give $25 to this charity for every catch or whatever, or $50. He gives $200,000 to a charity in Houston. I mean, he's a very generous man and totally to be admired. We have our heroes in sport. This guy deserves that tag.
There's that run.
Fumble, and it goes right to Houston. Covered, I believe, by Mike Munchak. Michael Dean Perry hit Highsmith as he took the handoff. No, it was George Yarno who came up with the ball, was in the right place at the right time. That could have been a big turnover for the Browns.
Well, what we do, we're going to get Munchak reaching and Perry coming right up underneath. Munchak thought he could get positioned by jumping around, and Perry so quick he got right underneath him. Perry felt that Munchak couldn't move his feet quickly enough to handle him.
3rd and 13. Down the middle. Is it a catch? No. He trapped it. Drew Hill thought he had it. Called a trap. What a play by Hill to make it look like a catch. He took that not off his shoe tops, but off the dirt.
Right, off the shoe tops. That is unbelievable.
And it does drag on the ground as he...
I guess so, but he looked like he had control of the ball.
But simultaneous, the catch with the ball on the ground, and that's going to go incomplete. Final seconds of the 3rd quarter. A brilliant quarter for the Browns offense. Montgomery, top kicker in the league, has plenty of room to boot this one and hits it short. It'll take a good bounce, however. And down at the 39-yard line by Chris Dishman. So with a good roll, that'll help that 44-plus average for Montgomery. Illegal bat. You remember at the end of the play where they downed the ball, that's a strange interpretation of that rule. He was downing the ball, but they called a bat on it. That's really stretching the rule. 10 yards, and Glanville, I don't blame him for being mad. That's a bit of over officiating. So here comes Montgomery after a 10-yard penalty, having to kick it from his own end zone. 4th and 19. This is where sometimes you go after the block. Not this case. And not a very good kick. Flags are down again. Out of bounds, the ball at the Houston 46-yard line.
There's another flag. This is when both teams have to show their poise. This game could mean the championship to them at some point, and you see all these individual things.
On the receiving team.
I don't know if he got all the message, but Mike Oliphant was one of the men penalized. I don't know but what there wasn't a Houston player involved as well, but in light of the fact they overlooked a total right-hand punch earlier in the game.
Holding at the snap against the receiving team. Personal foul. Number 33 also against the receiving team. That's a post-possession foul.
Well, but holding will be an automatic first down for Houston. If you go back to the punt, the holding call defensively gives the Oilers a first down.
Just the details of the game right now for either one of these teams to be a World's Championship team. It's just the details. Each one of these games is so vital. These kind of mistakes are what really take you out of it.
Going back to how important the game is, here we are at the halfway mark. One team will leave today 5-3 and with their hopes alive. Second half of the season, the other team has gone through a
holding 24 and personal foul 33. Both of those fouls were after the ball was hit.
Oh, after.
That's a post-possession foul. The ball will belong to Cleveland.
Okay, that makes a difference. I hate to find any humor in that, but at the end of the quarter, the man with a gun was right behind him, and he gave it the shot. The referee McElwee almost went into the second deck. That now is the 4th quarter. After the penalties against Cleveland, they start from their 39 with the lead. 2 big Kozar to Slaughter touchdown bombs, 80 and 77 yards, were the highlights of the 3rd period. Here's Langhorne back to Kozar. Another razzle-dazzle play to Metcalf. Makes a great catch. Covered by 3 men. And little Eric Metcalf leaps up above the crowd and steals it at the 35-yard line.
Well, we saw that in practice, and Bernie Kozar threw it to Metcalf. In this case, he had his receiver down the field wide open, but he was still going to throw that ball to Metcalf. But just take a great play by Metcalf to make this catch. He had Slaughter wide open. Look at this catch. just great athletic ability.
Oilers weren't fooled by the play, but they were amazed by the talent of the receiver. First down at the 36. 21-17 Cleveland, and this is Barry Redden.
Now, Redden's an interesting case. First-round draft choice has never really made it, and I've always wondered why. Because he certainly had the intelligence and the athletic ability, but he got initially caught behind Dickerson. And never really was able to do much other than be a blocker.
Picked in 82 in the first round by the Rams. Then he was traded to San Diego for Buford McGee and the #2 pick. And then this year acquired with a draft choice by Cleveland. 2nd and 6. Metcalf going to throw. He's got a man open. Langhorn. How do you do? Oh, my. These are plays out of Playground 101.
Boy, were they called at the right time. We had the throwback to Slaughter earlier. Then we had the reverse pass to Metcalf. Now Metcalf throwing the ball himself. Remember, we talked to him, Dick, on Saturday. He's saying, we talked to him about the pass. He said sooner or later they're going to call it. Did they call it at the right time?
32-yard touchdown, and Cleveland now leads 27-17. Barr hits the extra point, 28-17. Well, Metcalf makes a great catch on that drive and then throws a perfect pass to Reggie Langhorn.
Well, we're going to get Metcalf over here throwing the ball with everything coming at him. Then we're down the field for the touchdown. We have everyone fooled on the play.
Metcalf did a good job of disguising.
Beautiful job. And, of course, they saw that ball pitched to Metcalf. They reacted to it, and it was just wide open. The throw itself was excellent. By and large, running backs would just swallow hard here and just close their eyes and throw it. But Metcalf watches it, puts it all the way in. Well, now it's up to Warren Moon to show his greatness.
Metcalf admitted to throwing a couple of touchdown passes to Texas, and this crowd now in total celebration of what this Cleveland offense has done the second half. ...277 yards, and we played just a quarter and a minute and a half of the second half.
Well, Mark Crestman, the offensive coordinator, has been under a little heat. He's a very, very young guy. He has a great mind for football, certainly a great future, and he's had to come up with things here. You know, Bud Carson has talked to us about being a defensive coach and then having to learn an offense quickly to deal with these situations.
Now Wagner kicks it off. Lorenzo White waits for the Oilers. And he's trapped at the 23-yard line.
You know, every contest has an ebb and a flow to it. And has this one had that? Can you believe how Houston dominated early on and has come back to take total command?
Well, have you ever seen a period of time, such a short period of time? We've seen a halfback patch for a touchdown. We've seen a throwback or a flea flicker for a touchdown. We've seen another one that went to the halfback off a flea flicker or throwback, and all in a period of about 15 minutes by the Browns.
Well, they took advantage of the aggressiveness of that secondary from Houston. Their safeties biting on things, their corners biting on things. And so just the mechanics of it, Houston has had some great things.
Now for Warren Moon, and cool as he is, he has to temper any emotions because he's got plenty of time, 13 minutes to go, but now has to fight from an 11-point deficit. And a crowd that is making it difficult. Andrew Stewart, number 96. Rookie from Cincinnati gets the sack.
You see him come up the field. Now Moon's in pretty good shape, but both defensive ends get enough depth that Moon can't go anywhere when he wants to run. A lot of that was Michael Dean Perry up the middle. Dean has nowhere to go when he's coming up inside.
2nd and 19. With all the noise from the dog pound, Moon has to stay under center. Tipped and almost into the arms of Mark Harper, number 23. And a flag is down, and we may have a penalty on Tony Blaylock, who was rushing on a corner blitz and hit Moon as he threw.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, 24 defense, 15 yards, first down.
That carries a first down.
Well, these are the kind of things that give Moon another chance. You see Moon sprinting out to his right with pretty decent protection. He throws. Oh, no. You can't drop your head and hit the quarterback.
And he had 2 steps and the hit.
Yeah, he dropped his helmet with the impression that he didn't see it, but that was just too much to ask.
So with a penalty, 15 yards out to the 29. A first down for Houston.
Remember, Houston came back against the Bears in the same exact situation.
Not much on the run to Highsmith. Thane Gash along with Stewart again. And they allow progress to the 30-yard line, 2nd and 9. This kid, Andrew Stewart, 96, has suddenly come into defensive focus for Cleveland. His brother Alex was one of the many players involved in that Herschel Walker trade going to Dallas. He's a linebacker, is Alex. And some feel that he'll not be kept by the Dallas Cowboys, Alex, and will be available, and is a pretty good talent.
Stewart's coming up the field well, and he's got Bruce Davis, not a great pass protector.
Moon with time hits Gibbons, and Gibbons just tripped up in the open field by Tony Blaylock as a first down at the Houston 45.
As Blaylock had a workout today, he's inside against Gibbons, and with that quickness, Blaylock doesn't have that quickness. He's had to battle.
Alan Pinkett comes in to join Moon in the backfield. That first down quiets the crowd for a moment. Cleveland leading, coming back from a 10-0 deficit. Enjoys a 28-17 lead at the moment. 11 and a half minutes to go, 4th quarter. Triple right.
Blitz.
Moon able to get away and then brought down at the 29 by Thane Gash. Safety man Gash got through cleanly. 15-yard loss.
Well, you look on the left of your frame, Thane Gash is going to come up inside, and then he's going to pursue back outside. You see him right there, back outside around the outside of the play, and he's just going to get there in time. Bubba Baker sort of forced Moon to hold the ball so Gash could get to him.
It's tougher because of the noise to operate from the shotgun. So Moon again under center, 2nd and 25.
That deep zone that Cleveland's been playing effectively is in there.
Give us to Pinkett. No gain. Tom Gibson, 71, makes the tackle. He's from northern Arizona, a Plan B free agent from New England, and they feel, Bud Carson was talking about this young man, that he gets better each game, and they feel they've got themselves a player for the future.
Bud Carson's made a real transition, being a defensive specialist to a head football coach, because so many of your decisions in football are made offensively as to play selection and tactics, and he's began to work into it.
4 defensive backs out at the 45-yard line, 20 yards downfield. Moon underneath then goes to Pinkett. Pinkett fights his way across the 45, but that won't be enough for a first down. 16 yards of the 25. It's 4th and 9, and the crowd cheers the defense. Oh, cavernous Cleveland Stadium again.
Well, that 16-yard yards to Pinkett can mean something to Houston, because now they're having a chance to get better field position to try to hold Cleveland down inside their own territory. So that 15 yards can make a difference.
Ice Cube McNeil at the other end, and a beautiful spiral. That'll go into the end zone. Almost through the end zone, and Cleveland will play it from the 20-yard line. Flag is down. Thrown by the linesman on the far side. Against the Oilers. Cleveland going to take it at the 20, or?
I don't think so. I'd take that ball on the 20.
The way Montgomery's kicking, I think that's going to be a...
The penalty is declined. First down. Timeout.
9 minutes, 20 seconds to go in the fourth. Cleveland's ball, and will return after these messages.
Just like
that was when you were 6 and 5, and they could count you out. Cleveland goes to work now with the lead. Little dump off pass to Metcalf, who is brought down immediately by John Grimsley. Let's look at how Cleveland has played the second half. 4 possessions, 28 points. And some big bombs in there. An 80-yard pass to Slaughter, a 77-yard pass to Slaughter. The pass, halfback pass, Metcalf to Langhorne, 32 yards and a touchdown. And Carson, a Jekyll and Hyde game from his quarterback Bernie Kosar.
Just use the clock now is what Cleveland must have in mind.
8:39 to go. This is where, in the long run, the test of the running game often is, can you hold the lead late with the running game and chew up the clock? The Bears rebounding against the Rams, and the Rams about to lose 3 in a row. Buffalo ahead by 14. New England has taken the lead on a Davis field goal. Boomer Esiason has thrown 4 touchdown passes. The Bengals now big. Pittsburgh back in the lead. Second touchdown, Brister to Lips. Green Bay by 7, New Orleans by 3. Moon hoping the defense can give him a couple of chances. They're going to need more than one. 28-17 Cleveland.
Well, I'd assume they're going to run the ball here, although they're in a shotgun.
Swing it out to Metcalf. Caught at the 30, but I believe he has the first down. He had to get to the 30 and does. First down, Browns. Eric Pears made the tackle.
Again, Metcalf outside is what concerned Houston coming in, and it's proved to be a factor. They just ran a little quick screen to him outside. Great hands and good instincts.
Didn't you like it talking with him a couple of days ago? Those bright young eyes. He's only 21 years young, and just the way he talked, he still has all that enthusiasm. He seemed like a college sophomore, and he said, you know, even in practice, I don't want anyone to touch me. And on any play, don't even touch me, because that's like a tackle. He's got some great study habits. In motion again. They've used him a lot today. Barry Redden, who has a career average of 4.4 a carry. That's a good first down rush of 6 yards.
You know, I asked Metcalf about whether he ever thought he'd be an NFL player with his size, because he must have been around 170 pounds as a junior in college. He said, if my dad could do it, I could do it. We were the same size. There was never a question in my mind that I could be an NFL football player.
Or that quickness of foot does make up for a lot of other things, doesn't it? Clock ticking away against the Oilers. 2nd and 4. Kozar quickie, complete, first down to Langhorne at the 45.
Showing a lot of nerve throwing the ball in this situation. An incomplete pass means the clock stopped, but they're executing, getting it done.
Langhorne came up shaking his head, so Brian Brennan goes in for him.
You know, you have to give a lot of credit to Bud Carson, in my opinion, because he's coming as a defensive coach. Previously, Schottenheimer was so popular with his players. There were some doubts during preseason football. But when they beat the Steelers 51-0, I believe the score was, the players began to believe in him. And I think at this point, he's got everything generated in the right direction.
going for 5 and 3. 5.5 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter. Cleveland leads by 11. Metcalf again. Dances for 5.
Well, this could be the beginning of a running game for Cleveland. Kozar reminded us that when the weather gets bad here, which could be any minute, when the weather gets bad, they have to be able to run the ball late in the season. So let's assume now that they're developing that part of their game.
Metcalf averaging 3 yards a carry, 39 in the game. Boy, it seems like he's worked a lot harder than that just to get only 39.
It's made a lot of people miss to make those yards.
Under 5 minutes now. And Kozar wisely looking at that 45-second clock, letting it tick down. It's at 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And Metcalf fighting for 5 more, and he's right at the yardsticks. John Grimsley made the tackle. First down, Cleveland. And Houston is going to spend a timeout right here with 4:26 to go. And now the picture becoming gloomier for the man in black. I don't know if they play bingo that week. I assume the Wednesday night bingo parties, and that's just what Cleveland's going for in this second half. 5 drives, 5 touchdowns, 5 in a row. As they lead 28-17, and Manoah this time stopped on first down, and the Oilers spend their second timeout with 4:20 left in the game. Johnny Meads made the tackle.
You know, Jerry Glanville really paid a compliment to Cleveland, the organization itself, Art Modell, Ernie Accorsi, on their development and selection of personnel.
Yeah, he's very high in the praise. He said they always get good players. They really know what they're doing. A tumultuous time for Art Modell and the old line owners who fought for Jim Finks as the new commissioner and finally agreed with the younger Lions in the league. Paul Tagliabue, the new commissioner, and P. Rosell can now go to Rancho Santa Fe and start working on his forehand. Charging offside is Big Doug Smith. Was he drawn on?
You know, Art Modell has worked so long, so hard to bring Cleveland a winner, a Super Bowl.
Encroachment, 99, defense, 5 yards.
Another Houston penalty.
And I think he has the formula now. Bud Carson's a very capable man. He knows the game. The players respond to him. A fine staff. If they just keep it in place now, they'll need 2 or 3 players. They might make it this year, but they'll make it if they just have the continuity from this point on.
Well, he gives them continuity. He is the top dog.
He's hands-on.
Yep. So a break for Cleveland. They get 5 free yards on that offside. On 2nd and 11. Now 2nd and 6. Metcalf on a sweep. They fake the reverse. And a Metcalf diving for what appears to be a first down. Grimsley made the tackle. Well, it certainly has been a most interesting offense for the Browns. I don't know if they saved everything for the second half as the Oilers call timeout, but they have tried every bounce this drive, starting back at the 20-yard line. And now Houston has spent all its timeouts. First down at the 34. Metcalf slides for 3. Right into the tag of John Grimsley. Boomer Esiason has hit another one. That makes 5 touchdown passes for Esiason. Eddie Brown, an 18-yard play with 12 minutes to go. And Cincinnati now leads 49-16 over Tampa Bay.
So tough to live with a hype that's being generated by Jerry Glanville and the Oilers. Each week they get more public attention, but that doesn't do anything in bringing them a championship. They've got an excellent team. I'm sure they'll have a great year. They could be the champions as predicted, but all this hype and all this attention gathering doesn't necessarily mean winning football.
Kozar using that full 45 seconds. I still feel that's too much time when you come down late in the game to be able to sit on the ball all that time. Metcalf is hit in the backfield as gambling and shooting through is Johnny Meads. Oh, he guessed right. And lucky for Metcalf and the Browns, that's the kind of tackle that forces fumbles. Now the clock running. It's already at 30 seconds and 3 minutes. So it's right at 2:30. They'll have to snap it again on 3rd down, will the Browns. Boy, you got to love this guy, Eric Metcalf. He certainly is tremendously exciting. You wonder how he will do on a frozen field, on a bad field, which will be the case in the Novembers and Decembers of this season.
I think he'd be a lot better player at some point in his career if he's the Brooks type running back. He's not a full-time player.
Give them a no on the draw. No one there to stop him. He's got another first down. 16 yards for Tim Manoa. And that'll just about do it for any hopes Houston had of a hurry-up offense. They're just not getting the ball, and it'll tick down to the 2-minute timeout. And Warren Moon just cooling his heels on the sidelines.
Well, the Browns appear to be winning. They won on a lot of special plays today. I'm not sure they'll be able to do it every week.
They certainly have generated an incredibly exciting second half. There's the 2-minute timeout.
The game out of it, come back.
And now Kozar doesn't need to take any chances with 2 minutes to go. And a first down, he just has to kneel 3 times. Here's one of them. This telecast presented by authority of the National Football League, intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Cleveland Browns and the National Football League is prohibited. This game is the property of the National Football League, Houston Oilers, and Cleveland Browns. All rights reserved, and they're chanting, Ozzie, Ozzie, Ozzie. The veteran Newsome from Alabama has not caught a pass, so unless he is inserted into the game and Bud Carson throws him a gimme pass, his streak is going to end at 150 games in a row.
45-second clock.
There's just not much they can do about it. You know, you can compromise.
Now wait a minute, let me ask. Now as a coach, now okay, let's put you in this situation. Here you know that he's got 100. Someone comes up and says, "Hey coach, put in Newsome, let him get his streak alive." What would your reaction
Probably
be?
a failing of mine. We'd have just won the game methodically. We never really made an effort to do those kind of things. We've had people break all kind of records, but it's really artificial at this point, I would think. I don't think Ozzie would care that much about it. 150 is a heck of a record. I don't think he's going to get the #1 spot, so it's just sooner or later these kind of things break.
That's the only drama these final seconds, as on second down Kozar will do another knee drop. John Gonzalez, our director today. John Francis, our producer. Terry O'Neill, our executive producer. Thanks to all Drebus, Julik, and Schingler. And our Budweiser most valuable player is Bernie Kozar, who rallied his troops in the second half. 4 touchdowns, 4 trips. He was perfect in that second half on those drives. He's our MVP, and Budweiser will make a contribution to the United Way on behalf of all the MVPs selected in today's game. And he even ran one in, and that's the one he'll be talking about tomorrow. The final seconds, the Cleveland Browns, who lost to the Oilers in the wild card game last year, and that was deep in their minds as they practiced this week. And what a week it was. They beat the Bears Monday night. They come from 10-0 behind this afternoon using the long bomb. Kozar to slaughter. That's the theme they'll be singing in Northern Ohio. A 28-17 win over Houston.